Everyone, and welcome to the Dominate the Deal podcast, where we teach you how to take control as a real estate investor. And today we're hanging out with my friend Andrew Becker,
What's
who
up, man?
just, thanks for being here, brother. Andrew just launched a new probate training program for investors that want better deals with no competition. And Andrew's also the founder of Billion CRM and Brighter PPC, and he's the host of the Team Lead Talks podcast. Is that right? Team Lead Talks
Yes,
podcast.
sir.
Sweet. So, man, thanks for being here, brother. I'm really
Yeah,
happy.
dude, of course. Anything for you, man.
Yeah. Well, I know we don't have a lot of time, and I just want to I want people to see how much knowledge you have in this area and just how awesome it is. So I just want to jump right into it, if that's
Yeah, let's do
okay.
it. Yeah.
All right. So, just for people that don't know, what is a probate lead, and how can it help, new real estate investors or even seasoned real estate investors?
Yeah, man. So probate at a very high level is somebody passes away, Jesse, and they own stuff.
Mhm.
There is a legal process that one must go through to make sure all their stuff gets sold, their debts and credit card bills and everything like that get paid, and what's left over goes to the remaining family members, heirs, beneficiaries, whoever they wanted it to go to. Um, a lot of times, Jesse, that the probate estate includes a property that needs to be sold. So for investors or real estate professionals in general, Jesse, it's
Mhm.
a fantastic lead source, if you will, because unfortunately, people pass away every single day, and new probate cases get opened up every single day across America in our 3,200 different counties. So if you can really figure out this probate stuff, it's essentially a never-ending lead source, regardless of your exit strategy today.
Yeah. So when people die, right, and they have a bunch of debt, does that mean that sometimes the heirs, in order to, take possession of their inheritance, are they forced to sell certain properties in order to pay off those debts?
A lot of times they are. I mean, think about your family member, your parents, your whoever, right? They own stuff, maybe.
Mhm.
They owe stuff, maybe. Maybe
Right.
not, right?
Right.
And a lot of times it's like, man, this just came to me. Like someone passed away in my family and now I have to do it. And I don't have the money to spend, or not to spend, to pay off these debts. So
Mhm.
most of the time they have to liquidate. And what's the most, probably the most valuable thing in an estate, if they did own property, is the house. So the majority of probates, while some obviously don't have property because some people don't own property, Jesse, but the majority do. That's most often the first thing we see is getting liquidated, so they can get that money out and then use that to pay off whatever they need to pay off, and then what's left over is what they get to keep.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, just before we really get into like the specifics of how you do this and everything, one of the things that kept me away from this for a while was that I didn't understand how to, start that conversation with someone that had just lost somebody.
Yeah,
And you were actually the one that kind of explained to me that the process doesn't usually start unless they're ready to have that conversation
right.
to some degree. But could you kind of break that down, why it's okay to even pursue these leads
Yeah, of
after
course.
someone's had a loss?
So this is what we teach
Mhm.
at the probate engineer. So there's two things that happen, Jesse. Actually, I guess three. Someone passes away, right? And
Mhm.
then they get what's called a death flag. Essentially a death certificate. It's public information, obituary, that kind of thing. So if someone passes away in my area, I could find out about it at that point if I know where to go look.
Mhm.
That is not the best time to reach out, in my opinion. To each his own here, right? But
Right.
that is not the best time. So what we teach is the overall, like in our
Hang on,
program.
wait. So you're saying is you're not supposed to call somebody up and say, "Wait, did your dad die yesterday? I wanted to buy your
Nah,
property." That's not what
man, people do. You'd be surprised, but I don't, and I sure as heck don't recommend doing that. But people do, man. People
All right.
do. So
Cool.
here's
So
what we
that's
do
not what we're
teach.
teaching. Okay.
No,
Cool.
that's not what we're teaching today. Don't do that. Like,
Okay.
do it if you want, but I highly, highly recommend not doing that. So, someone passes away and they own a bunch of stuff, and their family's grieving, their family's going through that, which is super sad. You have to be aware of that first, like everyone is, right?
Right.
What we teach, Jesse, is there's a process to this probate. And the
Mhm.
first step in this process is what's called petition for probate. The filing of, hey, my such and such passed away. I'm going to go to my courthouse and petition the court system in blank county, whatever county you're in, to start this process of identifying assets, the people, the creditors, the debts in order to close this out. It's a legal process designed so there's no, bad players. So you have to follow that given process. But what we teach is when that petition gets filed, that is essentially them telling everyone, hey, we're ready to start this process and we're ready to get closure somehow. That is where we say, hey, you're going to get people that do get upset. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to lie about that. But at the very least, you're not reaching out to them and saying what you just said earlier about the dad, right?
Right,
Like
right.
what you're doing at that point, Jesse, is saying and acknowledging the elephant in the room, saying, hey, Jesse, my name is Andrew. I do this, I do that. I'm in real estate. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. And I know how chaotic this might seem to you today, but I just wanted to let you know that I deal in probates specifically in my real estate business. Can I send you a checklist that will help you wrap your head around what you're about to go through? It actually includes information about how to start a probate binder because there's going to be a lot of moving parts, and I just want to make sure that you're staying on top of it. Would that be okay? And you're not just calling and saying, "Can I buy your house? Can I sell your house?" That. So we have a motto in our community called or that goes, "Don't compete, separate." 10 people are going to call and say, or 9 people out of 10 are going to call and say, "Can I buy your house? Can I buy your house? Oh, I can list it. I can list it. I can list it." Then Jesse, you're going to call and say, hey, I know what you're going through. Can I give you this free information because I think it will help? It's helped so many people before. And then guess what? When they actually make that decision and get the proper legal documentation to start making those decisions, they're going to say, Jesse was the only one that sent me this free packet of information and he was talking probate language and saying the words that I'm now learning. So that's how we teach people how to separate themselves from the pack.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I was just on a couple days ago with my buddy Robert Nichols, and we were talking about this, how the people that do the best in this business or any other business,
Yeah.
they're going to be the ones that are most successful at serving people. If they want to be successful in their business, then they have to become successful at actually providing a good service that other people need, and really helping them. And that's really what is, it
Yeah.
sounds like that's what makes you and your students successful. You're leading with service, not with a request for
Yeah,
profit.
well, look, like there's this value add in you as an investor only, right? There's a value add for that person as an agent, right? That they say, "Hey, I'm in real estate all day every day. I can sell your house, I can do this and make it super easy." But then in a probate, while there can be that element as well, you have to stack on top all of the elements related to the estate and the process and the timeline and the people and the documents and the creditors and the heirs and beneficiaries. So imagine going through a property deal once or twice in your life and you're like, man, I need Jesse's help. Like I see him everywhere. He knows what he's talking about. But now add on top of that component of all the elements I just told you. What
Right.
if someone reached out and said, hey, I know all those elements. I can help you with all those elements. Oh, it happens to have a property in it. I can buy it from you tomorrow, or I could list it for you in a few days, that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
that's the real value too of
Mhm.
bringing in your expertise, just like you do with the property part of it, but for the probate part as well.
Gotcha, man. That's awesome. So let's just say, let's just say that me and you are having coffee, and this is the last time you're ever going to see me for whatever reason, and you've got to, help me as much as you can with this probate stuff.
Yeah.
What are like two or three pieces of advice, like the two or three most important pieces of advice that would help me if I'm never going to be able to talk to you again,
Yeah.
uh, if I want to start doing probates and set that up
Dude,
as a
really good question. I'm gonna steal that from you. That's excellent. All right, so number one, this is what I just said, like educating yourself and figuring out the systems and processes don't matter until you do this first thing I'm about to tell you.
okay.
And it's two parts. Number one, if you are purchasing probate data today, stop, because you're getting old, stale data at the exact same time everyone else in your county is getting it. And then you're going to start sending them the exact same stuff. And it's going to be overwhelming, and it's not the right way to approach it. So, our approach is what we call and refer to as day one probates. So, in my community, I teach my students before everything else how to go get that data themselves. Whether it takes 30 minutes, Jesse, or it takes 2 weeks, go and put in the time and the effort to figure that out. That is the source of truth. It's the source record at the county courthouse. There's no faster way to get probate data than figuring out yourself. And there are two ways to do that. One, if you get lucky, it's available online and it's either free or you pay for it. But two, you go in person. You figure it out, you write it down so I can pass off a piece of paper, we call them playbooks, to you, Jesse, and say, hey, I need you to get Arlington County probates. Here's how you get it. And then I'm leveraging you to ultimately get those for me. So that is of utmost importance. Stop paying for leads from a list source because it's too late by that time. Get the data yourself. And then provide the value, not talking about helping them sell their property or buying their property from them. Provide the value about the process itself of probates of estates. That is how you're truly going to start to stand out. Remember, you're not going to compete at that point. You're going to separate. So, Jesse, to bring it all full circle, now you're getting in front of the people you need to get in front of weeks or maybe even months in front of all the people buying the list, and you have all this tremendous value add or that you're bringing to that person. So you're beating them to the punch on both levels, on both elements of that.
Gotcha. That's awesome, man. So you're ahead of the competition because I guarantee you, at least in my area, there's nobody. I don't think there's anybody going to the courthouse every week or
Yeah, man.
How, I guess, is it usually a weekly thing or is it just like it can happen? It can get posted any day.
Yeah, I'll expand on the day one probate.
Yeah.
So there are 3,200 counties in America, give or
Mhm.
take. Like I mentioned before, each of
Mhm.
them has their own process. So it's not like, oh, I'm in Virginia, every single county in Virginia does it differently. You
Mhm.
have to go and figure it out. At the end of going through what I teach in the day one probate process,
Mhm.
is you need to be able to say, hey, Jesse, in Arlington County, Virginia, probates come out every Tuesday at 8 a.m. And I log into this portal. I click here. I go here. I open a file. The file has 50 different documents, but I only care about document 7, 12, and 47. That's where I'm pulling the 4 key critical pieces of information I need to run a successful probate engine, lead source engine in my company.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's the level of detail you need to get it to ultimately make it easier on yourself or leverage another team member and have them go do it eventually. And I thought of a third thing
Okay.
while you're talking about we're still having coffee, right? You haven't
Yep.
left.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You're not
Okay.
getting shipped off to
It kind of
China.
expands on what I just said, but I also teach how to turn this on an automated front as well. So you can know day after day, whenever the probates come out for whatever county, right? You know they come out on Tuesday. You're only doing one county. And then we set it up so you pull the leads, send it to the mail house, the letters go out, you put it into the skip tracer. If you want to make cold calls, you get numbers, you start cold calling, mail goes out, and we do that on repeat. This is how you get consistent lead gen, lead flow, week after week, month after month, year after year in probates because they come out every day, every week, every month, whatever the county does. And if you can systematize this, it could literally be the only lead source you need in your entire real estate company. And then we teach going into another county expansion, right? There's 3,200 counties.
Yeah.
Do you want to be in all 3,200 counties, Jesse? You could. But how are you going to do that successfully? So we teach to franchise model your operation, what we refer to as your probate department, to say, hey, Jesse, do it first in Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson County in Mississippi, whatever your county's name is,
Sure.
franchise that, make sure it's systematized, and then duplicate it in the neighboring county, then the neighboring county, then the neighboring, then maybe someday you're in 30 counties. And at the end, Jackson County produces 14 and a half probate deal leads on average each month. this county produces 2, this county produces 45, this county produces 15, and you're tracking all this. You're seeing what's working, what's not. So that's the what we get people to level.
Wow, man, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit more about your program, how people can find you, how people can sign up, how much it costs.
Yeah, so it's called the Probate Engineers. I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, all the social platforms at I am Andrew Becker. We have a Probate Engineers Facebook page and LinkedIn page and that kind of stuff. We have a TBD group and website coming out, but that's how you can find me for now. I forgot the rest of your questions.
How much does it cost, or what does it look like?
Yeah, so it's self-paced. There's two elements to this, Jesse. The self-paced do-it-yourself course right now is 2K, like 1997. You can buy that, get everything I just described, A to Z, and have a functioning probate department within 4 weeks if you really schedule it out like we advise you to, or how we advise you to. Then we have an element, and that's kind of like the done by myself version. Then, if you would like, we have a private Facebook group that's 197 a month, and it's just no commitment or anything like that. But that gets you access to me. We teach classes on Tuesdays, Tuesday afternoons at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we have office hours on Thursday. And then we'll have a private Facebook group where if outside of those hours you still need help, you can come and communicate with like-minded individuals going through their program to say, hey, I'm trying this, I tried that, share their experience and get help that way as well. So it's pretty straightforward.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. Well, I really appreciate you being here and sharing your expertise. And man, I'm really hoping that we can have you back soon.
Yeah, dude, I actually have something if you'd like for anyone listening, if they comment probate, I
Okay.
will send if those of you are like, oh, what is probate? Yeah, I'm just curious, like the process. If anyone comments probate, I'll send them my free understanding the probate process guide that you can use to kind of get that initial understanding of what that might look like if you wanted to get involved with this niche.
Awesome. That sounds great, brother.
Cool, man.
All right. Well, I know you have more appointments, so I'm going to let you go,
All right,
but
dude.
we'll see you guys in the next